This is Top 30.
President Trump traveled to Las Vegas Wednesday to meet survivors and first responders of the mass shooting as investigators released new information about the gunman and his girlfriend. The Daily Mail posted several pictures from inside the gunman's 32nd floor suite at the Mandalay Bay, and it's pretty sick. Investigators say he rigged 12 rifles so the guns could shoot at a rapid pace, and that he set up cameras inside the room and in the hallway. And there's new video from a police body camera that shows the chaos as gunshots rang out.
Hey, go back! Go back!
FBI agents are interviewing the gunman's girlfriend, who returned from the Philippines on Tuesday. And another piece to the puzzle, investigators say the gunman wired $100,000 to the Philippines, but they don't know exactly who the money was sent to or when. Despite the new info, police say they still don't know why the gunman did this.
We have never seen a mass shooting as deadly as the one in Las Vegas, but that hasn't changed the terms of the debate in Washington. Democrats say that new laws are needed to stop gun violence. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer told the chamber this week, "We need common sense reforms, and these reforms have broad public support in the face of tens of thousands of gun deaths every year." Senator Dianne Feinstein has mentioned targeting modifications to semi-automatic guns that let them fire as rapidly as automatic ones. That would include the bump stock reportedly used in the Vegas massacre. Democrats tried introducing gun restrictions after the shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, and at Virginia Tech. All failed. Republicans say that now is not the time for debate on gun control. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said it was premature to discuss gun legislation. Representative Steve Scalise, back to Congress after nearly being killed in a shooting early this year, told Fox News the Las Vegas tragedy fortified his position on the Second Amendment. And that position stands in stark contrast to one of his former colleagues in the House, Gabrielle Giffords, who you'll remember was left with brain damage after surviving a shooting. She told lawmakers this week, "The nation is counting on you. You can count on them all you like, but the chances of anything significant changing are, as always, slim to none."
Fiat Chrysler is recalling nearly 750,000 Jeep and Dodge SUVs, all because of a brake issue. USA Today reports that an installation mistake on brake booster shields might allow water to seep in, which can cause corrosion and freezing of the brakes. The recall is for Dodge Durango and Jeep Grand Cherokees from 2011 through 2014. Approximately 646,000 vehicles in the US, 42,000 in Canada, and 21,000 in Mexico are thought to be affected, bringing the total up to more than 700,000. So if you're looking in your driveway and thinking, "Oh my gosh, that's my car," Fiat Chrysler has advised that a certified dealer will inspect it and fix it for free if necessary.
Personal information of more than 1,100 NFL players was reportedly exposed because of security issues with a database. Forbes is reporting a worker from a cybersecurity company found the unsecured server. It was being used by the NFL Players Association, and that worker said the data was already compromised. A sports agent told Forbes he received an email from the NFLPA saying the union is working with computer experts to determine what happened, and the union confirmed players' home addresses, cell phone numbers, email addresses, and dates of birth were some of the information exposed. But union leaders also said social security numbers or financial data was not part of the breach. Forbes reports most of the players impacted were free agents, people like Colin Kaepernick, Robert Griffin III, and Darrelle Revis. The Players Association did not respond to Forbes' request for comment on this story. The US has ordered 15 Cuban diplomats to leave the country. The order was in response to a series of mysterious attacks last year on American diplomats stationed in Havana. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said the move was due to Cuba's failure to take appropriate steps to protect our diplomats. The State Department has now confirmed that victims suffered harm to their hearing, vision, and cognitive abilities. Some reportedly have brain damage. The US has also confirmed a 22nd victim. No one knows who perpetrated the attacks or how they did it. Cuba denies any wrongdoing. The State Department will reduce staff at its embassy in Havana to emergency personnel only. The State Department said this was not punishment, but would give both embassies the same amount of diplomats. Cuba's foreign minister has bashed the decision as reckless. Just 2 years after the US reopened relations with Cuba, both embassies now have their lowest staffing levels in years.
Here are your quick hits. Barack and Michelle Obama celebrated 25 years of marriage on Tuesday, and leave it to the former president to go big.
I had to crash this party because today we have been married for 25 years.
Barack surprised Michelle with a heartfelt video message while she was speaking at a conference in Pennsylvania. Yahoo now says all 3 billion accounts were hacked during their 2013 data theft attack, tripling their previous report of 1 billion. Info like names, birth dates, phone numbers, and passwords were compromised. Archaeologists in Turkey think they found Santa Claus's grave. A burial ground was discovered beneath the St. Nicholas Church in Antalya, where it's believed they'll find the untouched body of Father Christmas.
Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with your friend and mine, Nicole Petalides. Nicole, you are talking about Google's new phone.
That's right, Richard. Google launching its Pixel 2 today. The tech company is claiming the phones can solve problems like bad photos, short battery life, and storage capacity. Google is also rumored to be announcing some major hardware, including a new Google Home device, as well as a high-end Chromebook and the Daydream virtual reality headsets. The International Energy Agency says the new era of solar power is now upon us. The government agency announcing renewables accounted for nearly 2/3 of net new power capacity in 2016, which makes it the fastest growing source of new energy worldwide. And Amazon has another acquisition. This time, the e-commerce giant has purchased Body Labs. It's a 3D body scanning and modeling startup. They've reportedly bought it for around $50 million. Body Labs lets people virtually try on clothes and makes photorealistic avatars for gaming. Richard?
Excellent, Nicole. Tell me, how does Amazon plan on using this in the company?
Buying Body Labs could mean a few things, including custom fit clothing, also better predicting the sizes that people will need, and lastly, maybe it'll mean fewer returns of clothes that do not fit. Richard.
Nicole Petalides in New York, thank you.
D.C. is clearing their restaurant and bar patios of dogs, and people are barking mad over it. The D.C. Department of Health is cracking down on their food code, which prohibits live animals at restaurants, with the exception of service and law enforcement dogs. Vincent Gray, former D.C. mayor and current council member, said he's received more than 100 calls and emails from people who are mad about the recent enforcement. He said, quote, "It's a real oddity to me that we would see the need to enforce some kind of relatively obscure law in the District of Columbia when there are so many other health challenges in this city that deserve our attention." Dog owners have been voicing their concern on social media, using the hashtag #DogsForDC patios, but others like Charles, who is allergic to dogs, call it selfish to bring your canine out to eat. So good luck breaking the news to your bestie. Let's hope DC dogs have thick skin. There are tons of dating apps out there, so why not one for making new friends? Michelle Kennedy, an executive who helped create Bumble, was also once a busy working mother desperate to meet other moms. So she created Peanut, an app that connects mothers in the same area with similar aged kids and interests. It works just like a dating app. You create a profile and choose from descriptions like single mama, fashion killer, and spiritual gangsta. And then an algorithm shows you other moms in the same area with matching criteria. Swiping up on another mom's profile signals a wave, and if two moms wave at each other, it's a match and you're able to start chatting. So far, the app is available in London, New York City, Dallas, Chicago, LA, and San Francisco.
A company called Passenger Drone has developed a self-flying two-seater drone meant to be the flying cars of our time. The sleek aircraft uses 16 individual motors with propellers. It's able to fly autonomously and even has a joystick-like control with 2 large touchscreens. The cockpit is surrounded by glass, giving passengers a 360 view, and a flight control algorithm keeps the drone steady through most weather conditions. The drone is slightly larger than a compact vehicle, and the company says you can park it in any garage space. It's basically a self-driving helicopter, which is great because no one can be bothered how to learn to fly a helicopter.
Now to get our Page 6 fix, let's go to Elizabeth Wagmeister.
We've got some big Hollywood movie news. Hope you're ready for a new batch of Angels because the Charlie's Angels reboot is happening. And rumor has it that Kristen Stewart and Lupita Nyong'o are being eyed to join Charlie's gang. Now, sadly, one movie that isn't happening anytime soon will be the third Sex and the City movie. Even though there was a script in place and shooting was supposed to begin soon, both Sarah Jessica Parker and Kristen Davis confirmed the news that fans dreaded. Reports are saying that Kim Cattrall's demands are the reason the movie isn't happening, although she took to Twitter to say it wasn't about her demands. She just didn't want to do another movie. And ironically, the new Fast and the Furious might be off to a slow start. Tyrese took to social media and begged The Rock not to move forward with his solo spin-off, so as not to delay shooting for the 9th installment of the franchise.
For more Page 6 TV, check your local listings. In today's hometown stories from Fox 2 Detroit, police officers have put up little free libraries at precincts around the city. The small stations filled with books honor the memories of Madeline and Luke, two children who lost their lives battling the same rare form of cancer.
They both like books, they're both great kids, and we thought, you know, in their memory, this is a fantastic thing. So kind of grew into it from a small idea into a big dream come true.
Kids in the community are already loving the books. Detroit coordinator Kim Kozlowski said developing a love for reading early on can keep kids on the right track.
It's a way to rally your community around reading and books. And it's also a way of kind of getting to know one another.
In our second story, 16-year-old Jessica Benson from Rapid City, South Dakota, organized the first annual Spirit of Heroism banquet to honor law enforcement officials and veterans in her community. Jessica told Top 30 she was inspired by the service of people in her own family. Her grandfather is a Korean War vet, and her uncle recently enlisted in the Air Force. She says, "It is very important to honor and recognize our first responders and military members because they make sacrifices every day to help save lives of people they might not even know." Over 140 first responders and community members attended. Jessica has been involved in projects honoring the military since she was 12, and she is currently serving as Miss Teen Rapid City International. Okay, this one will make your mouth water. A People magazine poll listed the best dishes at each of America's chain restaurants, and some of your favorites might be on there. Think IHOP's breakfast sampler or the Cheesecake Factory's avocado egg rolls, both on the list. The top 5 include Hard Rock Cafe's legendary burger, Outback Steakhouse's special sirloin, Red Lobster's cheddar bay biscuits, TGI Friday's loaded potato skins, and California Pizza Kitchen's barbecue chicken pizza, respectively. Honorable mentions include Chili's Old Timer with cheese, Applebee's Bourbon Street chicken and shrimp, and P.F. Chang's lettuce wraps. Yum! Although millennials have been blamed for the decline of the chain restaurant, some fan favorites are cherished anyway, as much for their originality as for their flavors. So millennials don't set all the trends.
T-Mobile has had to pull advertising that says it's the fastest carrier in the US. The wireless company has been airing commercials saying it was the fastest 4G LTE network. Some of those commercials also called Verizon's network older and slower. And not surprisingly, Verizon took issue with the claim. They challenged it with the National Advertising Division, part of the Better Business Bureau, and they argued that T-Mobile was making the fastest network claim based on data it had crowdsourced from users. And Verizon said the way that T-Mobile had measured that did not include all cell customers. And for complicated reasons we haven't got space to go into, that data misrepresented Verizon's network speeds, favoring T-Mobile. The NAD agreed with Verizon and recommended T-Mobile discontinue claims that it has the fastest 4G LTE network. It is bad news for T-Mobile, but good news if you're not a fan of false advertising. According to a new report from Bankrate.com, this is the 11th year in a row that ATM fees have risen. Bloomberg reported they're going up because ATM usage dropped due to the ease of avoiding cash transactions. Bankrate.com's chief financial analyst Greg McBride said, with fewer people making out-of-network ATM withdrawals, the cost of maintaining that network is being spread over fewer transactions. Not only that, but this year the overdraft fee reached an average astronomical new high of $33.38, up from $33.04 in 2016. People who overdraw their account are, by design, the people with the least amount of cash. So it's a pretty unpleasant catch-22 that you'll never even know about if you have a lot of money. In short, we can live without cash, but we're a long way from living without money.
Some big tobacco companies will soon be unveiling ads to warn people about the effects of smoking. On TV, there will be 30-second commercials running once a week on major networks in prime time for a year. The ads will be kind of like the end of a pharmaceutical commercial, and they'll quickly list some of the dangers of smoking. There will also be postings in 45 newspapers across the country for 6 months. The ads are the result of a recent settlement to a 1999 lawsuit. The Justice Department claimed that tobacco companies were making misleading statements about cigarettes and their health effects. Will people watch and kick the habit? We'll see when the commercials start next month. Mattel is drawing controversy for a new product because it might spy on your kids. When Mattel announced the Aristotle in January, they called it the first ever connected kids' room platform. According to a press release, Aristotle can act as a video baby monitor and send data to a smartphone app. It also listens to kids and responds to their voice commands. Experts say that's a problem. BuzzFeed reports that this week more than 15,000 people sent a petition to Mattel asking them not to release the Aristotle. They argue it could collect data on babies to be used by advertisers, and that kids could hurt relationships with other people if they learn to form bonds with inanimate objects. Mattel has also received a letter from the Congressional Privacy Caucus. Senator Ed Markey and Representative Joe Barton want to know how the Aristotle will store and protect video and audio. Mattel says they're, quote, committed to ensuring every product we make meets or exceeds all applicable laws and regulations. Aristotle was supposed to be released over the summer. Mattel hasn't said why it's not for sale yet.
Uber announced it will open dozens of lounges inside malls across the country. The company will build 33 of these lounges inside Westfield malls, with the first one located in a shopping center near Los Angeles. Uber released a sketch and described the lounge as featuring ultra-modern design, sleek seating, and other amenities so you can begin and end your Uber ride in style. There will be one attendant there, along with tea and coffee available. The lounges will be open to everyone, not just Uber riders, but industry experts say they anticipate Uber eventually charging a premium membership fee, which would offer exclusive access or reward frequent riders with perks. You know what it's like, you call an Uber, it's 3 minutes away, and you think to yourself, if only I was sitting in a lounge in a shopping mall.
24-year-old Montana Braun from Atlanta, Georgia, has taken the concept of paying it forward to the next level. Montana was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer at just 17 months old. She was released after staying in the hospital for more than a year, but Montana relapsed at the age of 15. She defeated the disease again after another year of treatment. Both times, Montana was treated at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Now, at age 24, she just started working there as a pediatric nurse. Montana is overjoyed to help children battling difficult diseases, just like she did. She said in a Facebook post, "Never in a million years did I think that at the age of 24, I would have achieved my biggest and wildest dream, to work at the hospital I was treated at as a teenager." Montana said each time she looked down at her hospital badge, tears came to her eyes. Well, Montana, we're tearing up after hearing your inspiring story.
There's yet another thing millennials are killing, the fossil fuel industry. As the generation ascends to positions of power, oil and gas companies may struggle to find employees and customers. According to a poll from the University of Texas at Austin, an overwhelming percentage of millennials, 91%, believe in climate change, and they want to work for companies that share their social consciousness. A study by Net Impact found 50% of millennials would take a pay cut to have a job that matches their values. A 2014 report from the Brady Capital Research said this new socially conscious generation of 80 million strong will be looking to invest in innovative companies that are disrupting the status quo and doing social good, which is the sort of thing we all say in our 20s, and then life happens.
Well, that's it for today's Top 30. Here are some stories coming up that you need to know. If you're car shopping, there's a brand new list of the best-selling vehicles in America. We'll break it down for you. Also, by the middle of this century, almost 10 billion people will live in cities. Could it be the start of a new chapter in Earth's history? And bad news for coffee drinkers. The crop may be facing extinction. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Like, follow, and subscribe to @Top30 TV and never miss a story. We'll see you next time right here on Top 30.